Actually, I'm not prepared as to what to say, but then I was reading something. Yes, I read a page from a book based on English grammar, English vocabulary, and the author talked about, discrimination between two words. I wouldn't want to mention those words. Yes, I'm just giving a plain idea. I'm making generalized video based on no topic in particular. I'm talking about the habit or the attitude that we have for any language for that matter. Not I'm not talking about English in particular, any language of the world. So basically, we all know that language passes through revolution. After every century, there has been a considerable change in the language. Yes, any language for that matter, you can take Asian languages, European languages, any language you can take. Every language has gone through a revolutionary change over centuries, over centuries. So there are certain words which we don't use now. We consider them as old and obsolete, and they have been, you know, thrown out of the modern dictionary of any language, modern dictionary of any language of the world. Yes. But then, out of those words which have been used, and I'm talking about the similar words with a slight difference of a vowel or two vowels within that group, yeah, within that word. So, in that case, we can definitely call them as similar words, right? Because the pronunciation is almost same. The pronunciation is almost same, yes, but because of the difference in spelling, and the context in which they are used, some kind of difference in understandability. Yes. So, what I'm saying, but there have been some grammarians who say, yes, in 19th century, the restriction of uh, the restriction of a particular word, or I can say the uses of a particular word was restricted, fiercely, severely, vehemently. It was restricted. There was a restriction. But now in 20th century and in 21st century, basically 21st century is the liberal century. We all know, like my generation has seen some time of 20th century, that is 1980s, 90s and all, and 21st century 2010, 2020 and all, and onwards of 2025 also, yeah. So 2025, okay, sorry, 21st century is the liberal century we call, because it has broken all ties of the past, and it's quite optimistic, futuristic about the next century also. This 21st century is the 21st century is gonna be the life changing century, for the human being. Yes, it must have happened before also some time back. They called it the industrial revolution, or in the century I wouldn't know. I don't have profound study of any pattern as such of humanity or human behavior. Yes, let's not talk deep into that. Let's not dive deep into that. But even if I make a superficial references to this topic, the time when a man, when I say man means human being, the time when a man thought of wearing clothes, yeah, thought of wearing clothes. Forget about those what you call the branches and leaves and all. I'm not talking about that age. Okay, the time when a man thought of wearing clothes, that particular century can be considered as a revolutionary century, a time of revolution. Why? Man felt like wearing clothes. Yes. So that way, 21st century is also is not that here we are discovering to wear clothes once again. No, we have been wearing. Man has been wearing clothes ever since then, when first time he First time man felt the urgency requirement for the seasonal changes or for even to be presentable in front of others. Yeah, he thought of wearing clothes. Yeah, so from that period up till now, we are used to wearing clothes. Yes. So let's move little ahead of this topic of wearing clothes. Yeah, so there has been a sense of reluctance among some people across the world. Why? Because they still live in the 19th century when where there had been fierce restrictions for the use as far as uses of any word was concerned. But 21st century is the liberal century, and we have freedom to use the words the way we want to use, as long as we don't break the social barriers, as long as we don't sound offensive, as long as we don't jeopardize the relationship among countries, or we don't jeopardize the interest of our own country, as long as we don't harm the humanitarian factors. Yes, we are allowed to use the words the way we want to use. That's what I have learned while I was passing through pages. I was turning pages, and I stopped at a particular page because I thought some kind of highlight and sensed on that page. So I waited over there and I read that entire article, not entirely, but I read about 1.5 page, and I really realized that you shouldn't adopt that 19th century attitude. Yeah, even the famous grammarian has been claiming, just cast away, leave that 19th century attitude, be open, be liberal, yeah, to accept the new winds that have started flowing, especially in this century in which we are living. Yeah. Thank you, friends. Thanks a lot. Thank you.